Hello and welcome to the first Ask JWong session where you basically ask me questions on Twitter, YouTube, and Google+. And under the hashtag Ask JWong, you were able to ask me stuff on Twitter, and in the comments below on YouTube, you were able to ask me questions. But no one actually in this session mentioned me in a Google+ request to ask me a question. So I didn't get any Google+ questions, but I did get Twitter and YouTube questions. So we're gonna start with answering all these questions, and hopefully if this goes well, we'll do more of these. So let's start. So Mistro Games asks, how many 420 no scopes can you do in 10 seconds flat? No Mountain Dew or Dorito advantage allowed. Lenny Face. Now, this is a tough question because first of all, I need my Mountain Dew and Doritos in order to do a 420 no scope in 10 seconds flat. At least one. Now, without the Doritos or Mountain Dew advantage, it's going to be a tough one because a 420 no scope in 10 seconds flat, usually doing one is a difficult challenge, mostly on the fact without having that advantage. If I had that advantage, I can tell you right now, I could do at least 360 of them in 5 seconds flat, and at least 1080 of them in 10 seconds flat. But with a 420 no scope without that advantage, I can't even sure if I can do one or even two. So like, that's a very, very hard thing to do. I have never really done it. I mean, let me try doing a 420 right now. And a little bit more. There we go. 420. That was at least in almost 5 seconds. But I didn't have a scope on me. Yeah. Let me just get my scope. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that did both 3 420 no scopes. Actually, those were quick scopes. Oh, I gotta do this again now. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so I can do almost 3 1/4 if I do 420 no scopes with no Dorito advantage. There you go. So Hope09999 asks, where do you live? Well, actually, I can probably give you a good estimate of where I live. Now, on my Twitter bio, I said my location is in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. And that is correct. Now, you're probably wondering, where is Saskatoon, Saskatchewan on the map? Now, it's actually a place that's located in central Canada. And it has a population of about, I think, 200 to 300,000 people. And it's the largest city in Saskatchewan. And Saskatchewan is a province, if you do not know, of Canada. And Saskatoon is not the capital. The capital of Saskatchewan is Regina. Now, Saskatoon is known for being the city of bridges, which is a place that has a lot of bridges because it's located in 2 parts. There's one part that's mostly residential. It has a little bit of commercial. On the other side is more commercial and industrial. And it's divided between a river. So that's why there's a bunch of bridges going back and forth. As well, there's not that many celebrities that come from Saskatoon. I think there's a few athletes I can't name on the top of my head. I think one of them's Katrina Lemaydone. And I think the only celebrity that is based off of music and arts was, I think, the Sheepdogs, which won a Rolling Stones thing, and Shannon Tweed, which is the wife of Gene Simmons. I think they come around once in a while, and it's actually pretty typical if you see them there. It's not like you really fanboy or anything over them. They just come over here and they're like, hey, there's Shannon Tweed and Gene Simmons. Yeah. Actually, I think according to their TV reality show, Shannon Tweed's more notable here than Gene Simmons, but I highly doubt that because Gene Simmons, if you don't know already, is the lead singer of, I think, Kiss. Don't quote me on that because I don't really listen to much Kiss. And the funny thing is, I was at a movie theater one day, and I had to go use the bathroom. And then when I came back to go walk back to my movie theater, I think I saw Gene Simmons and Shannon T just casually walking there, and I was like, "What the heck?" I mean, no, what the heck? And I didn't really fanboy or anything. I just walked by him. I didn't even like say hey or anything. They kind of stared at me like it's gonna react or something, but I was like, it's just people. I would honestly would not go screaming and fanboying over him, because it's like, why? So that's my story of my personal experience meeting him. I just walked back past him. As well, Saskatoon is kind of alright. There's lots of I have a lot of great friends here, and it's kind of fun. But if you kind of Google Saskatoon, or like what the most boring city is, it actually appears as Saskatoon. But yeah, that's not the case for me. I have a lot of fun here. But there's not much to do if you're like a party type of person. Is there anything else I gotta say? I've been here my whole entire life, as much as comes to living in Saskatoon. I was born and raised here. A lot of people ask. I read some questions in the YouTube comments like saying, "Where does Jordan live?" And someone's like, "He lives in China." Now, honestly, I don't even think I would be able to even upload videos if I was to live in China. I think it's banned there, as much as I know. Hong Kong, I've been there once, and I'll leave that for another story, because there's a lot that happened there. So let's go to the next question. Michael Harmonot asks me, one of my longtime friends, asks me, when are we going to be beating Halo 4? Call me up about it, man. I've been just waiting all day to play Halo 4. Yours truly asks, who is your favorite gamer on YouTube? Well, this is actually a good question, because a lot of you guys probably wouldn't even know the answer if you try to guess it. It's a while back when I actually watched a ton of videos, back in almost like 2006 to 2005-ish. Not 2005, 2006. I think a guy under the name of Angry Video Game Nerd arrived, and basically that sparked my interest of doing YouTube videos. Yes, he was a huge inspiration when it came to gaming and stuff, because at first I didn't realize that there was bad games. When I played video games, all the games I had was like Mario 64, Super Smash Brothers, and they were great games. And then when Angry Video Game Nerd appeared, when I watched them, I was like, these games are terrible, and I didn't expect those games to come into existence when I was that young. And when I grew older and older, I thought he also posted more and more, and I loved watching his works. It felt like an actual TV show that should have been on TV, but the thing was, since it was an independent thing, you can only get as much support as you can. Now, he's actually running a movie pretty soon called the Angry Video Game Nerd Movie. And when they had posters coming around, one of the things that they offered was you could get a signature from him if you buy a limited time poster. And I was in university when this happened, and when that appeared on my Facebook feed, which you guys shouldn't be using Facebook when you're doing classes, but I did anyways. I clicked that as soon as I could, bought the poster, and it shipped to my house, and it came signed, and I was so excited, because even though I haven't even though he hasn't posted as much as he used to, even though he still posts a lot, I'm still a big fan of him, and I've watched him since like 2006. I've watched him for a long time. So if you guys want to go check him out, just look up James Nintendo Nerd or AVGN. It should pop up. Now, a word of warning: he does swear a lot, and there's a lot of profanity, so it's for an older audience. So you definitely have to check him out if you know that. Okay, to the next question. Matt L asks, what is your first job and how did it end? Well, I was a flyer boy. I delivered flyers for when I was like in grade 8, and I was making that sick flyer money. And I remember going into grade 8 with my hard-earned cash and buying an iPod Touch first gen. Now, This is where the real boys played when you played some hardcore jailbreaks. Now, when I had my first jailbroken iPod Touch, I was like, okay, look at these guys. I can play games on here. I can do more than a normal iPod Touch was. That's why jailbreak was such a wow factor back then, because you could actually have apps. Yeah, back in the day, you couldn't have apps on your iPod Touch. You would literally just have all those basic apps, all the sample apps. Just imagine this. Imagine all the sample apps that you get on your iDevice, and that's all you get. That's exactly what the iPod Touch first gen was back in the day. It also came in a nice case. But yeah, my first job was just me delivering flyers around people's places. They enjoyed my punctuality. I delivered the flyers on time. I didn't just toss them in the garbage. Didn't earn my money anyways. I did that for about a year, and I was like, I got school. So there you go. That's exactly what happened. I went to high school and I just quit. There's no hard feelings. Nothing wrong really happened. It's just I didn't want to deliver flyers in high school. All right, next question. All right, Zachary Preble asks, how did you get so good at Photoshop? How did you start YouTube? What are tips for people starting to use Photoshop? Oh, these are a bunch of good questions. Now, I wouldn't say I am great with Photoshop, but what I did was take some classes on Photoshop. So I just basically, in high school, we had this computer processing class, which you did I think it was web design. I'm not even sure. You do like a mix of coding, computers, like typing, and I think you also do Photoshop editing. It was just like a taste of what other classes could be like in future grades. Now, in that Photoshop class, I learned a lot, like how to fuse faces. Actually, that was literally the one thing I remembered fondly about the class. Was you fuse faces basically just by taking certain parts of the face, or you can take the entire face, and you just start mixing in with the actual face. Now, sometimes that works well, and sometimes it doesn't, based on how skilled you are. And if you've seen my previous videos, which you can go check in my channel, there's a JWong Edits playlist, you can see that sometimes it works really, really well, and sometimes it works really okay. Maybe not even good at times. So basically, you just have to be skilled, and you have to do more and more practice in order to get better. That's the only tips I can really give you for starting any sort of Photoshop series or doing Photoshop in general. Now, how did I start YouTube? Well, that's a really great question. Now, I started my channel maybe a few months ago, and as you may know or may not know, that's not originally me starting YouTube. I actually started like a few years ago, except I didn't really have a channel. I just did commentaries with a guy named GameVids. Now, that's actually where I met Tomahawk, and how I met Furry Ducks is through they came on a live stream one day with me and Corey, or Corey and I, however you say it, and basically they came on, and they were actually a little bit fanboying back in the day, and yeah, they joined a game, and I think I remember fondly Furry was actually spamming a lot, or I think it was Furry or Tomahawk, I'm not even sure, and it got to the point where we almost kicked them once, but it turns out they were really cool guys, and I added them, and from there we became good friends over time. It started off just being like, oh, you want to play some Call of Duty? And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? And it started from there. It was actually kind of fun. And from there, we formed a group called Less Than 3, which I think it had just me, Tomahawk, Furry Ducks, and I, and we just talk to each other and have a good time on Skype. From there, we had additional people. Further members were Kevin, as in Kevin Vieira, and I think also a person, Cameron. Cameron, we don't really know that much because he's currently in video effects right now, and he's learning how to do that. So in the future, he might actually open a channel where he does video effects, just like kind of like Freddie Wong would. And Kevin, yeah, so we met Kevin a long time before we did a bunch of Minecraft videos. We used to like play. We used to play a lot of Call of Duty together. But yeah, I'll actually talk more about that in another question that I actually received that's kind of along that. So let's go to that question. Bunge asks, how did you meet Razer, Grape, and everybody? And basically, how I met all of them, for the most part, is through Tomahawk. Tomahawk usually just introduced me through most of them. But I guess I also knew him indirectly through just doing Twitter. And what I just did was just post like edits of like their responses into pictures, and they seemed to like it for the most part. So I got to know him through that, and it was a good way. It was a good topic tool just to get to know him a little bit better. And honestly, when you get to know him a little better, they're fun people to talk to, and I greatly enjoy talking to him almost every day. So yeah, it's just basically for the fact that I just met him through friends, and that's how like the social world's like. If you know people through friends, they'll meet you with other friends too. So take note of that, I guess, as a sort of way to meet new people. And so yeah, on to the next question. Eva Ray asks, what do you do for a hobby? Example, sports, art, acting. Now, what my hobby is a few things actually. My first one is soccer. I actually played a lot of soccer since I was almost like 5 or 6, and I haven't really stopped since. Now, I used to play indoor and outdoor, but since my university schedule has prevented me from playing indoor as much, I just play outdoor soccer now. Other than that, for hobbies, well, I have a lot of collecting like hobbies, as in like one of them being coin collecting, and in which I used to collect like old coins or even unique coins. And my oldest coin I have has to be dated around like 400 AD or something like that. Like these are Roman coins, so yeah, I have a really vast array of coins in my coin collection. Other than that, I also collect video games for a hobby. I actually like go to garage sales and like try and find old video games that I loved, or old video games that are interesting. For example, I think I got like my oldest video games are from my Atari collection, and as well I also have like rare video games which like can worth up to maybe like $100 or so. And basically I enjoy collecting it not for the value, but more of like playing the old games. I love playing like old video games like from the Super Nintendo era, because a lot of those games are really not only nostalgic but also actually fun, and they're different from today's games. Honestly, when you play a Contra game or even like a Donkey Kong Country game from now, they're a lot like different. Like they feel like they're complete. Sometimes like games these days seem to be kind of full, but then sometimes you have to pay to get a little bit extra. You got to toss in a little money to get a little bit extra. So yeah, I really enjoy playing old games because like it gets you from most of the games get you from point A to point B, and you just enjoy just experiencing the experience with friends too, because a lot of these games are also like co-op. So when you play these games with friends, they also get to enjoy it, and you get to enjoy it as well. Other hobbies I used to collect vinyls, but not as much anymore. And I also used to collect Coca-Cola merchandise, but not as much anymore. Yeah, so I used to have like Coca-Cola bottles from like 1930, something like that. And yeah, I guess I got a lot of hobbies, you could say. So yeah, I gotta tone it down because my dad thinks I'm hoarding a bunch of stuff. So yeah, I've toned down most of my stuff recently since then. But yeah, other other than that, I think you also mentioned like arts and acting. I also got piano. I do piano as well, and also I also like to compose music. But like usually I have like maybe like 200 or more songs like stuck in my head that I like have created. But most of the time, if I forget them, so I don't actually remember them. So like I only remember like a few songs that I've composed back in the day that I can bring up like in any instant. So if I had any tip for like composers, make sure if you're like just freestyling it or so, make sure you like write it down somewhere or like somehow remember it, because chances are you're gonna forget it on a whim, like I have. I think someone's asked me about a question for piano, so I'll also go to that right away. Alia Heather asks, how long have you been doing piano? Well, honestly, I've been doing it almost when I was 4 too, or back when I was really young. I think the earliest memory I have of playing piano is when I was playing the piano upstairs. I actually listened to a song on the radio. I think it's called Wherever You Are, the Titanic theme song. And I played that on the piano, and my dad came out of the shower asking who was playing the radio, and I was like, I'm just playing piano, man. Where's the radio? And he's like, oh, you're playing that? No way. I'm like, yeah, wait, I just did. And that's when I first sparked my interest with piano. It only took until like when I was maybe 10 or 12 when I started taking piano seriously. And I took lessons, and at first I kind of was okay, but the problem was my finger posture was terrible. I would actually play flat. Now you have to play curved like this in order to get a good sense of playing piano. If you play flat, I suggest right now you start curving your fingers, because you'll need that in the future. No, there's no excuse either. It's like chicken pecking on your keyboard. Don't do it. You gotta do curve now, or else you're gonna start, or else your piano playing's gonna screw up in the future. Thankfully, I changed it in time. Now, I had a great piano teacher that's teaching me now, and she still teaches me. And basically, with her, I've gone up to at least grade 8 on Royal Conservatory music. Now, if you don't know what Royal Conservatory music is, I'll explain it in a nutshell. Basically, level 1 is beginners, level 10 is advanced. I'm level 8, so I'm pretty decent at piano, I think. And I had a playing test for grade 8, and I passed with honors. I was actually really surprised because I was nervous as heck. And I was just freaking out. I thought I failed. I came out, and my dad said I looked like a ghost when I came out, and I was like really shaking. I felt like I just died when I did the test because I was so nervous. I don't know why. And I thought, I was like, Dad, I failed. I'm not going to get anything out of this. I might as well just quit. That's literally what I felt like at that time. And then a few months came on the road, I got my marks back. I was like, okay, I failed this. And then I opened up, and I get like honors. And I was like, what? I was really just shocked at the fact that I just got honors. And yeah, I'm taking my theory test in next month, and hopefully I can get my certificate. So maybe I can like teach like elementary students how to play piano in the future. I probably might or may not get my grade 10. I don't know if it's worth it or not. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because honestly, having my grade 8 was almost an accomplishment as is. No one in my family's really gone that. And my grandma's apparently really proud of the fact that I got my grade 8. She was like really my grade 8 playing test. She's like, oh, you did so good, Jordan. I'm so happy. I'll take you for lunch. And I was like, okay, let's go for lunch. And yeah, I really enjoy playing piano. I do a lot of freestyle playing on my spare time to hope and like develop new songs that I can compose. Actually, in this spoiler alert, in this UHC's season 8, when I die, in the end credits I put a song I made, and I hopefully can add vocals and finish it up, because there's some parts of it where the tempo breaks and it feels like it's not a complete song. So hopefully I work on that as soon as possible. Lars Milan said, how did you get into doing montage parodies? Well, that's a good question. Mostly because, primarily, the people that I got inspired to do montage parodies for was Wrecking Scrubs, which goes under Scrub Record 9000 now, because his channel previously got deleted due to copyright errors, and Snipers. Both of those people alone inspired me to do montage parodies. I take a lot of notes from most of their works and realize what they're doing and what they're not doing. And most of my jokes actually just comes from them from just reading their Twitter feed or just like looking up their videos. Honestly, without them, I think a lot of my content wouldn't exist. Yeah, they're really my #1 inspiration for montage parodies and certain jokes. The toss in a little extra and what to heck originally both came from Snipers. He retweeted the what to heck thing on his Twitter, and I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe Billy Ray made a tweet like that a while back. And the other one where he's tossing a little extra is when he was asking Domino's Pizza if he could get a little bit extra, or he didn't get a little extra because that's what he said. And then they replied saying, "Did we hear Domino's?" Yes, and when they gave a grammatically incorrect sentence to Snipers. Did we hear Domino's? And the here is H-E-R-E. Now, that's why some people don't get why I ever make those jokes, but if you ever follow Snipers on Twitter, you'll start realizing why I make these jokes. Also, yeah, they also have a great montage parody channel, and so you have to definitely check them out. So, yeah. I would have to say Scrub Record and Snipers alone and the montage parody subreddit are inspirations to where I get my stuff, but I'm not really interacted with them as much. I wonder if I could, though. That is this question. I definitely will be making more montage parodies in the future, and hopefully you'll see them soon. Okay, so on to the next question. Daniel Rafoy asks, what is your computer? Now I have 2 computers, but let's just start with the desktop because all of you guys probably want to know about that. My desktop is currently an i3 processor with a 600 watts power supply. It has 128 gigabytes of solid state drive, and it also has a 1 terabyte of hard disk drive. And now, the problem is that despite having that, and as well as the HD7 750 GPU, it is a OEM computer. Now what that means is basically it is not a custom built computer. It is in fact a computer you get at like your local like Walmart or maybe Costco. And indeed this is true. I got my computer back a year or 2 ago with my own money as a as a HP desktop. Now I know what you're thinking. Why, Jordan, why would you ever get a HP desktop? I think I said laptop before. Desktop at Costco. And honestly, it was only because I was able to get the little extra. The LCD monitor came with it. So I was like, why not just get both of those? And from there, I thought that was a good deal. So I got the HP desktop with a thing for $600. I thought it was not bad when I was a kid. I paid my hard-earned money and I got it. Now, realizing now, not a great computer. It's just okay. But it does the job. It does record my videos and that's all. I'm thankful for that. Now, if in the future, I'll probably need to upgrade my motherboard, my CPU, not really much my power supply because I got that recently, and my graphics card. Once I get those, I probably can get a lot better of a setup because right now it's a little bit okay. As for my other computer, it is a Macintosh Retina display. Now, I honestly may have made the biggest mistake by spending $2,200 on a Retina desktop. But the reason why I spent it is because I wanted a laptop that will last for my university career, and I don't want to buy a brand new one maybe like every 2 years. The specs on that are an i7 processor, a 256 solid state hard drive, and a GT650 M, which is made by NVIDIA. This is a really fast computer. This is a pretty decent computer. Not to also mention, I think it has 8 gigabytes of RAM. So it's good for actually decent gaming, but the thing is, I wouldn't use it for gaming just because it's Macintosh usually just poops when it comes to like most games. And that's not a bad thing because it does everything really, really well. It does all my university work well, and that's all I needed it for. I want fast, effective, and easy university work. Yeah, I guess it does do smooth frames for Minecraft, but it's not meant for gaming. Alright, oh boy, Splix and like at least like a billion others asked, do you love me? Yeah. Susie Soretta asks, do you have any siblings? Now, yes. I have a brother, and what he does for a living is 2 things. He does property management, and the other thing he does is DJ. Yeah, he gets commissioned to do DJ events at people's places or stuff, and he gets paid for it. And I find that really interesting because, honestly, I never expected him to DJ in his life, but here he is, DJing at like concerts, DJing at like parties, DJing at events, and it's interesting. Actually, funny thing is, he DJed at a pre-show for deadmau5 when deadmau5 came here at some like concert here. Now this concert also had 2 Chainz and I think some other band, but it was really weird what the combination was. But he DJed at the pre-show along with 2 other DJs that are local here, and it was kind of cool that he was able to do that. As well, he also DJed at, I think, a guy named, totally forget. Oh, I know who it is. Gareth Emery. That's who he DJed at a concert with. And the reason why he got those gigs is because he did the advertising for those events. And I don't know how he got that job in the first place, but he got it somehow, and it's actually pretty interesting that he was able to experience that once in a lifetime thing. But yeah, he does DJ work. Hopefully he starts learning how to make music, because that would help further his career or make it more than just a DJ thing. Because the thing is, DJs just stay only like local, but if you can go further as a music producer for music, which is something that deadmau5 does, then you can pursue your career a lot further. And I'm hoping he learns how to make music. I'm not sure if he's actually made any good beats or anything, but he has to. If he wants to pursue his career, he has to. Last question. So Tabby asks, what kind of music / bands do you listen to? Now, this question is gonna vary, and mostly gonna be a little bit complicated, mostly because my answer is not very clear. I listen to almost anything. Really, I really just turn on the radio. Well, not as much, but I turn on to like any sort of thing, and I can listen to anything. I can listen from anything from like Kanye West to Pegboard Nerds to Bob Dylan to Mozart to, heck, I don't know, maybe Gorillaz to maybe like Kid Cudi. I just have a range of music that it doesn't matter what the genre is or what the thing is. As long as it sounds good or as long as your music has meaning to it, I can like listen to it. It's honestly how I enjoy my music, is just by whatever sounds good or means good. Now, that might not be the case for everyone else. Everyone has their own taste of music, but for me, it's just whatever just goes with my ears, whatever just sounds good to me. So if you find me interesting music, I might listen to it and enjoy it. Honestly, like, it's not, I won't go, oh, it's not this type of genre, so I won't like it. I don't ever make that as an excuse. I just go whatever whatever you have. I'll listen to it maybe and see if it sounds good, or if I don't like it, then I won't like it. It's always how I rolled. It really is. Alright, so that's everything for Ask JWong session for today. If you guys like this, make sure you give this a like. If you want to stay for more content, make sure you subscribe. I plan to do more of these in the future, so please ask me questions in the comment section below. And if you also want to send me a tweet about asking me a question, you could ask me a question using the hashtag AskJWong. Now, I don't know how Google Plus systems work, but if somehow it pings me to notify a question, try asking me on there too. But I have no idea how Google Plus works, and I've been trying to learn it like recently. If you may have noticed though, I've also been adding you guys back on Google Plus because I think in my opinion, adding you guys on Google Plus is a kind of thing to better interact with each other. Because most of the time, Google Plus is just complicated as is. And honestly, I don't get like tons of notifications if someone mentions me or anything like that. So it really doesn't bother me that I have this many followers on that. On Twitter, on the other hand, the notification system just annoys you if you have so many people following you. You get like buzzed for no reason. So I don't. That's why I don't like following so many people. It kind of makes me a little dizzy if I do. So, as always, have a great day, please, and see you guys later.